everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. I am Pam, co-founder of Your Nurse Advocate Consulting, and I'm so glad that you're here. So if you're new to our community or new to catching these Tuesday Tip videos, I'm a registered nurse and also board certified patient advocate with over 40 years of experience helping families just like yours navigate the challenges of caring for an aging loved one. So today we're going to talk about a question that I hear all the time. How can I balance caring for an aging loved one with my own personal life? You know, if you're feeling stretched thin, torn between appointments, work, family, and caregiving, you're definitely not alone. Let's talk about some real strategies to help you find some balance and breathe a little easier. So you also may be part of the sandwich generation, balancing home, career, your own children. Maybe they're in high school, college, or maybe even grade school, and still trying to manage, the care of an aging loved one. So first, let's acknowledge something that's really important. Let's look at, caring for an aging loved one is one of the biggest responsibilities that you can take on. It truly is a labor of love, but it can also feel like a full-time job on top of everything you're already juggling. You might feel guilty for wanting time to yourself, or you may feel overwhelmed by the endless to-do lists, keeping up with your schedule, an aging parent's schedule, your kid's schedule, trying to coordinate all of them. It's a lot. But here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. So taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's essential. So before we get into some solutions, let's quickly talk about some warning signs that your balance may be off. You may not need anyone to tell you that your balance is off, but we want to just look at some subtle things that, before you get to your breaking point that said, that's it, I'm done. So maybe you're constantly exhausted or irritable. You have little time for hobbies, friends, relaxation. When was the last time you got a massage? Or when was the last time you got a pedicure? Or when was the last time you had a beer with the guys or a drink with the girls? You're feeling guilty about taking breaks, or you never take them. And that's one of the things that is my cross to bear in caring for, my aging mom. And, when I do have, I have a very hard time turning off the responsibility switch, even on vacation, even with the grandkids, even that, that's just my personality is I have a hard time turning it off. It's like I'm constantly on all the time. And that can really take a toll on you. Maybe you feel that your own health is starting to suffer. One of the early signs is just trouble sleeping or even headaches. Maybe they're not these full-blown migraines, but you're starting to get these stress headaches. You're forgetting appointments. You're forgetting things that you normally don't forget. Your mind is just so full with something. You just can't fit anything more in there. And you're just feeling mentally scattered. My big thing is when I get extremely overwhelmed, it's like I spin around in circles, and it's like I don't know what to do next because I don't function well in the chaos. I need a bit of order. So sometimes I just have to slow down, stop, make my to-do list, make my priorities, start small. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And then before you know it, I get into a rhythm and I'm starting to get things checked off and I'm starting to move along. But sometimes you got to take, you got to slow down to go fast. And so if any of these sound familiar, it's really time to, just take pause and reassess. And so we're really glad that you are here with us tonight for these Tuesday tips, taking the time to kind of check in with yourself. So start by making a list of what absolutely needs to get done. Now, here's what I do. And this may work for you and it may not. I have my long to-do list and I add to it all the time. But the night before I go to bed or very early the next morning at the very latest, I look at that big long to-do list and I pick 3 things off of there. 3 things only that I'm going to tackle for the day. And out of those 3, 1 is my must do. So I'm committing that no matter what happens during the day, I'm going to get this one thing done. And I do that every day. I keep I'm getting older. I'm in my, mid 60s. I'm a paper person. I do have my calendar on my phone and on the computer, but I do like paper. So I keep a paper calendar as well as a calendar in my phone. So when I do, compare the two, I actually look at my online calendar while I'm planning my paper calendar. And so whatever works for you. But just remember, you need to remember you don't have to do this by yourself. Make sure you're blocking off personal time on your calendar, just like you would a doctor appointment. And then the second thing is try and delegate and build a care team. We've got some in our free resource section on our website. I'm going to drop in a couple of links for some free resources during this Tuesday tips, but we do have a free resource that helps you. It's delegating caregiving tasks. And that is a worksheet that helps you identify what are the things that you can get off your plate. And we also have a checklist and a guide on building a care team on a budget. And we're going to talk about a little of those when we get into some of the solutions. So remember, as we said, you don't have to do it alone. Can you ask your siblings or some of your family members to take on specific tasks? Even the grandkids can help. What better way to teach your mom or dad how to use their phone better, or how to use their grandpad, or how to use their computer better than to have your child teach them, who have grown up and they live, eat, and breathe technology? Or consider hiring some help. Even a few hours a week can make a difference so that you can get out, get to the grocery store, do something fun, run the kids, just do something without having that nagging feeling that, oh gosh, I should, I feel guilty about leaving them. I feel guilty about leaving them. It's okay. It's okay. Even like I said, even that few hours a week can make a difference. Try and tap into some community resources. There's adult daycare programs. There's respite programs if you need to get out of town for a family wedding or a friend's wedding. Maybe you're standing up at a friend's wedding and you have to make that wedding. It's okay. There are respite services, all throughout the country in your area where you live. That's one of the things that we can help you find one if that's needed. There's meal services, Meals on Wheels. Remember, asking for help is a sign of strength, not a weakness. And I know I say this a lot, but it really, really is true. And I really want to hammer that home, so to speak. For those do-it-yourselfers, there's a program out there that exists that's called Share the Care. And I'm going to go ahead and drop the link into the chat. So this is the link for the Share the Care program. And what Share the Care is, and thanks Mavis for your support there. The Share the Care program is people in New York, kudos to them. They developed this teach yourself kind of a method of building a care team, pulling in resources, church family, neighbors, friends, family, really a volunteer service. They give you forms and tell you how to have meetings. And it's really a great program. So for those of you that are really kind of take charge, do-it-yourselfers, want to get in and handle all the details by yourself, the Share the Care program is a great resource for you. We have implemented that with our clients. We've helped got them started. We've helped them use the forms and get this going. And that was a task. And once they got going, they were good and they were on their own. But this is definitely something that we can help with, and we've seen work, and it works really well. All right, number 3, let's talk about setting boundaries. It is okay to say no, not right now. Communicate with your loved one and your family about what you can realistically do, but try and be present. When you say yes, you're all in. Not dipping your toes in 3 different things and trying to spread yourself so thin. If you make that commitment to say yes, you're all in. If you can't be all in, then you say no. And, communicate with your loved one and your family about what you can realistically do. Let's, set clear expectations for your availability, especially if you're working or have other responsibilities or, if you don't speak up and you don't share your other commitments and what you've got going on, no one can read your mind and no one can say, oh, I know so-and-so's got this going and I'm just going to jump in and help. A lot of times people want to help, but they're afraid to ask because, you're taking charge of everything and you're getting everything done, and they don't want to offend you. So don't expect a lot of people to offer help, but I will tell you, if you ask for help, there will be so many people that will jump in and take on, helping you and doing some things for you. So one of the things, use technology and tool. That's the fourth thing, kind of a help to do. Before we go on about setting, I wanted to touch base on one more thing before we move on to technology that I forgot to mention, and that's check-in calls. Check-in calls can be your lifesaver. So if you are busy at work, and you get interrupting phone calls during the day, or interrupting phone calls at other times in the evening when it's not appropriate, or you're in the middle of something, by scheduling regular check-in calls with your aging loved ones, you can avoid that. Now, if it's an emergency, of course you can't avoid that. You're going to get that phone call. But if you schedule regular check-in calls during the day and you have other people to help you do these check-in calls, even if you're checking in 3 times a day, maybe you do an evening one after work, maybe a neighbor, or a friend, or someone, or other family member does a morning one, someone does an afternoon. If you're calling them and checking in and making sure everything is good, you're going to get their questions answered and you're going to meet their needs before they call you when you don't want to be called. So really seriously think about scheduling those check-in calls. So let's talk a little bit more about technology. Shared calendars can be wonderful. I do a lot of shared calendars. It's really nice when you can see, if you have a shared calendar with your family, or maybe some other caregivers, friends that are helping out, you can see what's going on with them. And if there's things, you can make things private. If there's something that you don't want them to know that you're doing, you can make that private. You can just say busy. You don't have to say what you're doing, but at least they know, everybody gets an idea of what everybody's availability is. So, consider that. Consider, doing a shared calendar for appointments, medication reminders, things like that. So there's several apps out there for grocery delivery, transportation, medication management. You can get reminders if they've missed their medication. We like the Hero dispenser. That's one of our favorites that we've used. And, you actually get it opens the drawer, tells them to take their medicine. If the medicine's not dispensed and not taken and the drawer's not, you get a message on your phone saying that the medication was not taken. So there's some really sophisticated things out there depending on what your needs are. One of the things is download our emergency to go folder checklist. I'm going to throw this link into the chat as well. This is something that is really super important. If, for example, your loved one is alone and they're unable to make their wishes known, and they have a lifeline, they've pushed a button, they're kind of out of it, or a worst case scenario, unconscious, you have this to go folder that's right there by the door, a table ready to go. It's got all their information in it so that they can quickly, the hospital, wherever they're going, it's great for on vacation, where everybody can have access to everything they need to know. The rescue squad, the paramedics that don't have access to your medical records, they're going to have any allergies, they're going to have things that is going to help them be able to take care of you. So I'm going to go ahead, and I did drop that in the comment section, and here's the link, and this is what you could look for on the live, and we're going to share that with you. So that's another tool that you can do. Number 5, make time for yourself. Schedule time each week for something that, recharges you, whether it's a walk, coffee with a friend, or just quiet time with a book. Maybe it's a bath, whatever it is for you. My thing is I love to be out in the garden. I love to be, admiring my flowers. I love to be outside in the garden. So even small breaks can make a difference in your stress levels and your outlook. So let's talk about mindset and self-compassion. So remember, you are doing enough. Remember, you are doing enough. Caregiving is a marathon, not a sprint. Give yourself permission to reset, to accept that good enough is truly enough. If you're feeling isolated, reach out. Our Nurse Advocate Consulting community is here for you. It's a private community. It's full of caregivers and people in the same boat that you are that understand exactly what you're going through. It's a great place to have a chat. So one of the things here is we were talking about the caregiver delegation task. So I did add this here. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the comments. Lots of resources here for this Tuesday tips. Again, this is a guide and a checklist that is going to help you determine what things that you can delegate and ask help for. So this has been a popular checklist for us. All right, as we move forward, one of the other resources we have for you is consider joining our Your Nurse Advocate Now membership for ongoing guidance, masterclasses, support. There's 4 tiers of levels of membership, including a free tier. So I encourage everyone, check that out, see what might be able to meet your needs. Within these tiers, you can even get one-on-one help from Linda and myself. So here is the link again for our Your Nurse Advocate Now monthly program. So just enjoy. Like I said, we're sharing a lot of resources for this Tuesday tips. So lastly, book a consult with myself or Linda for personal advice. Just drop us a message, hit us on Messenger. We're certainly willing to help you. Drop your questions in, DM us. We're here to help. And if you found today's tips helpful, please share this video with someone who might need it. Consider subscribing to our YouTube channel so that you can get, notification and access when we have new videos coming out. We've got some great guest speakers coming up for videos in the near future. And if don't forget, follow us for more weekly tips. We will see you next Tuesday for another Tuesday tips. Take care of yourself and remember, you're not alone on this journey. So take care, and we will see you back here soon at another Tuesday tips.